on the back porch. A brass deer. Pretty cool. Very beautiful outside. Lots of animals scattering around. Now when I get up in the morning, I like to, forgive me here, count my blessings. Be thankful for what I have, where I am. That God's given me, Yahweh, the Creator God that is, given me the ability to think. And I'm going to talk about the economy here for a minute. After I count my blessings, because then I'm going to get mad about things. So, and things I can't control. But I think that if a person has a passion about a subject, and it's an injustice being done, I think it's only a human condition that we communicate our frustration. So I'm going to make a few YouTube videos here. Now this is Mr. Obama, the President of the United States.
Talk about next year. I want to focus on our future. The United States of America, right now, has the strongest, most durable economy in the world.
Of course, this is from Bloomberg. This is a YouTube video, so I hope they don't cut me off. But we have the most durable and strongest economy compared to what? Compared to the UK, which has 65% youth unemployment. Are we going to compare it to Spain, to Italy, to Portugal, to Brazil, to Chile, to Venezuela, to what country are we comparing our economies to? Are we saying we're better than we were 10 years ago? Are we saying that we're better than we were 15, 20 years ago? Because if you look at the statistical numbers, we're really not. We're a lot worse off. Now, there's been job creation, a lot of service jobs, a lot of low-paying jobs, a lot more people entering into the job markets. It's a fierce competition out there. But they're mostly low-paying jobs, no benefits. America has, are we the strongest economy yet? Well, I suppose so. I suppose so. Look, the weapon sales are off the charts. We're selling weapons like there's no tomorrow. The war economy is just chugging along full speed. I mean, there's nothing going to stop that. We're making components, we're making missiles, we're making ships, we're making helicopters and jet engines and jet fighters and all this high-tech equipment and laser beams that go on airplanes and outer space weapons. We're doing really good. I mean, we are robust in that area. And prisons are robust. The prison economy is robust. You know, a lot of people go into prison. Crime is off the charts. And these underground economies with drugs are off the charts. Now, I have a policeman friend, a couple of them, that live next door and stuff, and down the street, and you know, I thought heroin was just a really bad scourge out here, and epidemical, and it is in epidemic proportions out here. And I live in the country, out here, northern Michigan, a little bit, and but they're talking about meth labs and things like that, and I'm thinking, oh my God! Now, I haven't even heard anything about that because I don't see that in the paper. Now, I'm not a news television watcher whatsoever. I have no television that works. I get most of my news from the internet. I read a few papers a day. Try to. If I'm not working, I work 2 jobs. Now, my own economic situation is that simply nothing's really changed. Now, let's get to this next part, and then I'll talk about my personal situation.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
Okay there, buckwheat. Okay there, buckwheat. Whatever you say. Now, but he's right. We're not in decline. I mean, nothing's really been declining. Look, in 2007, 2008, 2009, now, I had a little money saved up after the big recession thing, so I wasn't horrible. But we got to 2011 and on, you know, I had times where I could not afford to eat every day. I had to give up a car. I had to buy an old shitty car in 2008 because I could not make a car payment when you're not working is stupid or on unemployment. That's just a stupid thing. So I had to give up my house, give up my car. I gave up everything. So, you know, that was a big decline. But since then, nothing's really declined. I mean, I still drive a shitty car that I hope to God I just make it to where I'm going and back. I mean, that's kind of what kind of car I drive. I've never had another new car or anything like that. I've never been able to afford, you know, a lot of food or a lot of clothing I mean, since 2008. So things haven't really declined. They just basically stayed the same. They just stayed shitty. They've not gotten any better. That level of shittiness hasn't gotten any better. Now, I've worked a few jobs. I work 2 jobs now. But every month I worry about how am I going to pay my rent. Every month I worry about, is something going to get cut off? Am I going to get late charges? Because a poor person, the worst thing is for a poor person is to get late charges. I mean, you're already poor and you're late on a bill, and then you got to pay a $70 or $50 late charge on top of that, and you're already fucking poor. So no, I don't eat every day. I try to feed my animals. I got a couple hobbies, but I don't smoke, drink, or go out to fast food, or I don't go buy anything. I don't buy clothing. I buy things for work, and that's about it. I try to keep a little business going, and plus 2 other jobs at work. But every month it's, am I going to make the rent? Am I going to make the rent every fucking month? Now, no, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed in that part of my life. No. And so I guess he's right. Are we declining? No, but we're not getting any better. Now the stock market's been dropping out. The thing is, I work a construction job. And the only really thing keeping the construction industry going is the low gas prices. And of course the diesel cost is also dropping, which is really good for us because it costs a lot of money to run that equipment on a job site. We have excavators, bulldozers, we have generators, we have air machines, we have all kinds of power equipment. Now, it costs a lot of money to keep that stuff going. So the fuel cost is a big portion of that, of the portion of the job bid. When you bid a job, and when the fuel cost is low, you can either drop your bid or you can keep the bids up there and bring more people in to get the job done sooner, so you're done ahead of schedule. So there's benefits to having low fuel cost as far as the construction industry. Now, of course, it's going to also go into the auto industry because you're going to sell more of those big gas guzzling trucks. And people are working in the auto industry right now. But the bottom's going to fall out of that pretty soon too. And I'm just afraid, because we're teetering on the precipice. And I got to tell you that if one thing happens in Saudi Arabia, if one bomb goes off in the Middle East somewhere, the gas is going to shoot up to $5 a gallon again. And then the brakes are going to come, they're going to hit the skids, man. Now, a lot of projects are scheduled, years ahead of time. So he's right about not declining either, because look, if you do have a big construction job, or even the car companies build their cars 2 or 3 years ahead of time. My brother's an engineer at Chrysler. But if you have a construction project, it may be on the books for 3 years. You get the funding, you get all your money together, you get the contractors, you get the approvals, you get the inspections, and you get everything done, and you start on your project. But the funding's normally almost always there. At the time when you start digging that hole, or we have funds available to lean on or available if we need them for extra funds. But if gas would shoot up, you're talking about a huge fucking expense, and people may cancel projects. So I'm just going to see what happens. Now, this video was dedicated to Charlie McGrath. He passed. He's one of the first guys I ever subscribed to on YouTube years ago. I didn't even know how to use a computer back in those days, and I still don't. But at least I'm a little bit better now. But another veteran dies way too young, a man with wise beyond all of his years. I listened to him. I took his messages to heart. He was a good man. He's deployed a few times in the military there, and God knows what he was exposed to. Well, we know he was exposed to DU and all kinds of other bullshit, and they shot him up with all kinds of chemicals, and God only knows what was in those things, because before you deployed, they just shoot the fuck out of you with all kinds of hundreds of shots. You don't know what the hell you're getting, and then it attacks your immune system. And then Charlie had problems with asthma. Now, part of this Chernobyl studies is that asthma was one of the most prevalent conditions that occurred after exposure to low-level radiation over a period of time. Asthma, believe it or not. And when I see people with asthma, Crohn's disease, and a lot of other conditions with their organ failures and brain problems, a lot of it is from low-level doses of radiation. And I think that what I'm seeing is a lot of people that fly a lot. I hate to say this, but a lot of people that fly a lot seem to be having a lot of these conditions, on a more of a statistical scale than they normally would have if they didn't fly. But anyway, this video was dedicated to Charlie. The economy, it really sucks. He was a good man. Duck out.